I'm Peter Sidwell and today's recipe is Katsu Chicken. Really simple to make, really delicious. Everyone seems to be loving it at the moment. And it all starts with that amazing Katsu sauce. Now this recipe is really easy to make, it's delicious. You might as well make more than you need because it's the perfect thing for putting in the freezer. It means you can whip it out, add it to a few ingredients and you've got a delicious dish. We tend to serve it with noodles and sesame seeds and shredded up leftover chicken. It makes for a quick dinner. So, to make my Katsu sauce, heat a non-stick saucepan. I'm using my MasterClass cast aluminium pans, in with a chopped diced onion, splash of oil, and then I'm gonna peel and dice my ginger and garlic and add that to the onions. I'm gonna cook it out for about 5 minutes, really get the flavors going, and then it's in with our spices. So it's a tablespoon of curry powder and it's a teaspoon of ground turmeric. That will help with the color and really bring it out. Add that into the onions, stir it around and cook it out for 5 minutes on a medium heat. It's really important that you really cook out your spices. Then add in your flour. Stir that in and you will almost create like a roux, which is like the base for a white sauce. You need to cook that flour out, so it's important that you keep stirring on the heat and cook it out for a couple of minutes. Then take your chicken stock and add it a little at a time. Pour the first bit in, it'll instantly boil and it'll swell and it'll absorb the moisture. That's fine, keep stirring, then do the same again, stir it in, and gradually it'll go from a paste to a thick sauce. And keep stirring until all that liquid is absorbed and you have a nice consistent sauce. Now it's time to finish the Katsu sauce. So 100 mils of coconut cream will just give it that wonderful creaminess to it. And then I'm going to season it with some mango chutney and some dark soy sauce. Now it's up to you how much you put in because some people will like it slightly sweeter, some people will want it a bit saltier. So taste it and then add the mango chutney or the soy accordingly. Now that your sauce is made, put it to one side and it is ready to go. Now let's turn our attention to the chicken. I've got 2 chicken breasts here, skinless and boneless. What we're gonna do is we're gonna escalope them, okay? So that just basically means cut them nice and thin so they cook quicker. So you want your hand flat and parallel with the board and the knife, little finger up, little thumb up, and then just run your knife horizontally through the middle. Very carefully. I use my Edgekeeper knives from MasterClass because they come with a sheath that sharpens the knife every time I put it away or bring it out. So they are the perfect knives to have in a home kitchen. So nice and gentle, because the knife's super sharp, it just glides through effortlessly, so you're nice and safe. There we go. So we've got our 4 chicken escalopes, okay? Let's pop those onto our plates. Now that the chicken breasts are all cut nice and thin, it means they'll cook really quickly. So, to breadcrumb them, take some flour that's seasoned with a little bit of salt and white pepper. Take some beaten egg in another bowl and then some panko breadcrumbs. Now look out for the panko in the supermarket. They're really easy to get hold of. And they're like a Japanese breadcrumb. They are super crispy and really dry and they are perfect for this job. Put those in a bowl so you've got all 3 bowls. Now it's important when you are breadcrumbing, you use one hand for flour, egg and putting into the breadcrumbs. Keep the other hand dry to move it around in the breadcrumbs and lift it out. Otherwise, you will end up breadcrumbing all your fingers and all your thumbs, I promise you. So one hand for those job and one hand for the last job. So dip the chicken into the flour, then transfer it to the egg mixture and then lift it into the breadcrumbs. Take your hand away and use the other hand. Lift some breadcrumbs, pour it on the top, turn it over, transfer the chicken onto a plate and then do exactly the same with the remaining chicken until you've done them all. Then you are ready to cook. Now I'm gonna cook this chicken in oil, okay? I'm gonna use a MasterClass cast aluminium frying pan with about 1 centimetre of oil. Get it nice and hot, but not smoking. So what I suggest is you turn it up to sort of 3/4 of the way up and let it get hot. Don't just whack it on full because it'll be too hot and it'll burn the breadcrumbs and the chicken will be raw in the middle. Okay, so you want 3/4 heat on there. Get it nice and hot. If you need to test whether your oil is ready, take a breadcrumb, drop it in, and if it crackles and starts to go golden, then it's ready to cook. So lift your chicken breast pieces up one at a time, lay them in the oil carefully, and lay it away from you. Just cook 4 at once in this pan. Cook them till they're golden and crisp on one side, turn them over, cook them on the other side. They're going to take about 3 or 4 minutes till they're fully cooked. Now, if you're not sure whether it's cooked in the middle, there's 2 things you can do. One, make sure you get yourself a probe, like so. This is one of the tailored ones. It's a tapered probe, and it means that you can take the core temperature. It needs to be above 75 degrees, okay? And that means putting it into the chicken horizontally and getting the center temperature. So these are perfect for that job. Otherwise, you need to pop it in the oven for about 5 or 6 minutes, just to be on the safe side, so that you know it's cooked. So once your chicken is cooked, I'm actually going to serve mine up with some fresh noodles, and then I'm going to peel some carrots. I'm going to chop them up into little matchsticks and soak them in lime juice with a little bit of chopped up ginger as well. And what that does is gives you a real burst of acidity and crunch, and it is the perfect counterbalance for the lovely crispy chicken and that rich katsu sauce. So just lift it out of the lime juice, sprinkle it on top, few sesame seeds and that amazing katsu sauce, and you have got a fantastic dinner for your family. Now, if you want the recipe, go to kitchencraft.co.uk and you'll find it there.